All right, we're here, I guess. Well, where else would we be? Hey, so horror, huh? It's a genre, and it's really been coming full force over the past couple of weeks. We've gotten Barbarian, which I was a fan of and I reviewed on this channel. We got Pearl, which is one of my favorite films of the year that I reviewed on this channel. And now, today, we've been blessed with another horror film for the fall canon, if you will, and that is Smile. Now, Smile is an interesting entity because I have been so excited for Smile because the trailers play before every single movie that I see, and it has been that way for about 3 months. Every single time, a different trailer, a weird bootleg, like cut up version of the initial trailer, and then the new trailer that just got released like 4 or 5 days ago. I've been watching them all, waiting, and it has looked absolutely horrible. It looked awful from the trailers. Everyone has said that. Lo and behold, about an hour or two before I am about to commence my viewing of Smile, I suddenly figure out, people on Letterboxd are giving this really good reviews, like 7s and 8s, and I am actually in shock. Could I possibly be in for another surprise that will absolutely knock my socks off? No, I'm not, and they're wrong. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but no, they are wrong. Smile is horrible. Smile is really bad, and for the second time in a week, this is going to be somewhat of a rant, but we're going to try and keep this one more succinct. I'll try being the operative word. So, in order to really get into the main reason why I don't like this movie, and there are also other reasons why I don't like it. There are a lot of them. We'll get there. I do need to, and I hate doing this. I really don't like doing this. It's one of the things that really makes me tune out from a film review of any sort. Give a basic, and I mean very basic, plot description of what's going on in Smile. So in Smile, it revolves around a therapist, a psychiatric therapist of some sort, and she gets an entity passed on to her, an evil entity passed on to her from a patient that she has seen, and the entity manifests itself often in the form of a very, very weird smile on maybe a stranger, maybe someone that they know, but it's never real. Hey, people are saying, man, you know what? This film is just going to be called Derivative because it has a very similar vibe, premise to It Follows in The Ring. It's like the passing on of things. And people are going to say that, but this is actually super unique and different. And wrong. I'm not going. If a film has a basic premise that is similar to another movie, I'm not going to criticize it for that. I'm going to criticize a movie when it jocks the entire steez of a different movie. This is just a movie trying to be The Empty Man. This is a movie that saw The Empty Man have such an interesting take on the horror genre and completely remold the way that modern horror films can be marketed or can be put out to a mainstream audience. It saw that do that and tried to mimic it in every way. The very interesting cinematography, the very interesting transitions from shot to shot, the very heady, and we will get there, commentary on a very, very emotional issue. This one specifically being trauma. Again, we will get there. It's just that. It's trying to jock the steez of The Empty Man without any of the nuance or understanding of how The Empty Man came to be. Smile is like if you were given the blueprint to build a very, very sturdy, solid house, a really, really cute house, and you build the house, and then you come in, the people are here, and they're like, okay, we're ready to see our house, we're ready to see, it's gorgeous, oh my god, it's so cool on the outside, and then you go inside, and there's literally nothing there. There's no furniture, there's no anything. It's just a completely empty house. There's nothing in there. It has all of the makings, all of the tropes, all of the formulas to fit into that psychological horror genre, but it doesn't have any of the things that make it work. There is often in these psychological horror films commentary on important issues such as grief, things along those lines. And Smile decides to tackle trauma. And by tackle trauma, that means recounting traumatic events and loosely stringing them together with events that happen in the movie. And really rushing through very poorly thought through exposition on said trauma, and hoping that mentioning the word trauma in these sentences as kind of a hot button topic will be enough to actually signify that there is significant conversation happening about, and discussion and discourse and symbolism and all of that about the subject, when in all reality, it's just a bunch of horse manure. There's no substance to it whatsoever. And that translates over to a lot of the aspects of Smile. Another thing that these psych horror films have going for themselves is the fact that they know how to execute creepy situations and tenseness and intensity. They know how to do that pretty well. And despite what, again, everyone is saying, Smile doesn't do that whatsoever. The imagery is hilarious. It's not scary whatsoever. I'm not even, and you know what? Here's the thing. The imagery is not done poorly. The imagery is actually one of the only things that I would compliment this film on. The problem is the imagery is so ridiculous and completely out there, and the rest of the film is so not that it completely contradicts this like grim, solemn tone that you're trying to get at, with a man ripping his face open in a really, really comedic way, and it just does not work. So you're setting up a more solemn, more serious atmosphere for this film, very silent, very methodical, and then these random horror scenes show up and it's like, oops, hey, this is kind of crazy, wacky stuff. It just doesn't work, and it definitely detracts from the atmosphere that the film is trying to portray. It's just two things working against each other, and ultimately ending up in both of them being negative and completely contradicting each other. Another thing we have to talk about, and we always talk about in every single one of my reviews, is acting. People will lead you to believe that Sosie Bacon is good in this. They are once again wrong. Sosie Bacon is not very good in this whatsoever. Her acting crazed and starting to lose her mind, and her spiral is done very poorly. I don't think that she's good at all. There's only one good performance in this film. Seeing Jesse T. Usher here was very weird, especially after seeing him in Shaft and being bad in Shaft, and they said, oh, you know what, he would be perfect in a dramatic horror film role. Yeah, that's a great idea. There's one good performance in the film, and that is Rob Morgan. I will not, and he's only on screen for about 5 minutes, and so I can't really get into the depths of that, but if you've seen the trailer, you know exactly who he is. But the acting's not good, the story's not good, the dialogue's not good. There's a couple of things that I can, give actual props to, and as I said, some of the visuals are very interesting. I also think that Rob Morgan's performance is good. Kal Penn is solid for what he is given, which is once again no more than 5 minutes of screen time. And I will also say that there's a structure for a good movie here. Like I said in the beginning with the house analogy, there is structure for a solid psych horror here, and it's just not pulled off effectively, but having that structure there is something that should be commended. That being said, there's not much else for this film that I can commend. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I am going to give Smile a 3 out of 10. It's really dumb. Do not let these reviews, especially after, I can't believe we got Barbarian, which is a very good certain type of horror film, and then we got Pearl, another very good other type of horror film, and then we got this, and people are like, yes, this is on the same level, if not better than those other two movies. Insane to me, can't believe it, but that is how I feel, and yeah, I guess You know what? Don't go see Smile. I would not recommend Smile. And the reason I wouldn't recommend Smile is because I went into this movie thinking it was going to be a so bad it's good horror film. But once again, just like Don't Worry Darling, again, much less than Don't Worry Darling, but it does have this like sort of pompous attitude towards itself, that it thinks that it's really hitting certain notes and really reaching certain levels of this psych horror genre that simply cannot reach because it is so shallow. And those are my thoughts on Smile. Don't go see it. Instead, I don't know, go see Bros. I might review that one, who knows? I rhymed. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a wonderful day. There's certain things going on in my life right now that I will not divulge, but there will be an update video in the future where I talk about certain things that are going to be happening on this channel. Let's just say I'm going from a destination to another destination, and we will talk about that later. Anyways, thank you so much for watching once again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.